Pop quiz. What is this? Verify that a user can log in with valid credentials. Is that a test case or a test scenario? If you said test case, you are wrong. That is a test scenario. And if you have been using these terms interchangeably, you are not alone. I have seen QA engineers with 5 years of experience mix them up in interviews, in test plans, and on the job every single day. But this confusion is not just semantic. It has real consequences. When you don't know the difference, you end up with test plans that are either too vague to execute or so buried in low-level detail that nobody ever finishes writing them. Get this right, and your entire approach to planning and executing tests will sharpen overnight. Here is why this distinction matters. Test scenarios and test cases operate at completely different levels of abstraction. They serve different purposes, they get written at different points in the testing process, and they are read by different people for different reasons. A test scenario answers one question: what should we test? A test case answers a different question: exactly how do we test it? Think of it like architecture versus construction drawings. An architect's sketch shows what a building should do, how people flow through it, what spaces exist, what the experience should feel like. A construction drawing shows exactly how to build each wall, where every wire runs, the exact measurements for each component. You need both. But if you only have the sketch, nobody knows how to build it. If you only have the construction drawings without the high-level plan, you lose sight of what you're actually trying to achieve. In QA, test scenarios are your architecture. Test cases are your construction drawings. A test scenario is a high-level statement of what needs to be tested. It describes a behavior, a feature, or a user goal without specifying exactly how to verify it. It is written at the requirements stage, before you know every detail of implementation. It is intentionally broad. Here are examples of test scenarios for a login feature. Verify that a user can log in with valid credentials. Verify that a user cannot log in with an incorrect password. Verify that a user is locked out after 5 consecutive failed attempts. Verify that the Remember Me option persists the session across browser restarts. Each of these describes a behavior worth testing. None of them tells you exactly what to type, which button to click, or what the exact error message should say. And that is the point. Test scenarios are written to ensure coverage, to make sure every important behavior has been identified and accounted for. They are your testing strategy. They are fast to write. They can be reviewed and signed off by product managers and developers who don't know how to read detailed test cases. They map directly to requirements. When you walk into a test planning meeting and say, "Here are the 12 scenarios I've identified for this feature," you are demonstrating systems thinking. You are showing that you understand the scope of what needs to be tested before a single step has been written. A test case is the detailed, step-by-step execution plan for verifying a specific behavior. It is where you get precise. A test case has a title. It has preconditions, the state the system must be in before you start. It has numbered steps, each a single specific action. It has the exact input data to use. It has the expected result for each step or at the end. And it has a pass or fail outcome. Let me show you what a test case looks like for one of those scenarios we just wrote. Scenario: verify that a user cannot log in with an incorrect password. Test case title: login form rejects invalid password and displays error message. Preconditions: user account exists with email test at example.com and password correct 123. Step 1: navigate to the login page at /login. Step 2: enter test at example.com in the email field. Step 3: enter wrong password in the password field. Step 4: click the sign in button. Expected result: the user remains on the login page. An error message reading invalid email or password is displayed below the form. No session cookie is set. That is a test case. Notice how different it is from the scenario. A developer could execute this test case exactly as written without asking a single clarifying question. Anyone on the team could pick it up and run it. And when it fails, the precise steps make it trivial to reproduce and report the bug. One scenario can spawn multiple test cases: a happy path case, a negative case, an edge case, a boundary case. The scenario defines the territory. The test cases map every inch of it. Here is the mindset that ties all of this together. Scenarios are your strategy. Test cases are your execution plan. You need both, but you need them in the right order and for the right situations. Start with scenarios every time. Before you write a single test case, map out every scenario for the feature you're testing. This forces you to think about coverage first and mechanics second. It stops you from getting lost in the details of one test case while accidentally ignoring an entire category of behavior. Once your scenarios are mapped and reviewed, then you write test cases. Not all scenarios need the same depth of test cases. A high-risk, high-traffic payment flow might have 20 detailed test cases per scenario. A low-risk admin-only settings page might have 2. Senior QA engineers make this call constantly: where to go deep, where to stay lean, how to allocate testing effort for maximum risk reduction. Knowing the difference between scenarios and test cases is also how you communicate more effectively with your team. When a product manager asks what are we testing, you show them scenarios. When a developer asks how do I reproduce what you found, you hand them a test case. Right level of detail for the right audience at the right moment. So let's close it out with the clean version. A test scenario answers what to test: high level, behavior focused, fast to write, maps directly to requirements, readable by non-technical stakeholders. A test case answers how to test, step by step, precise, executable, reproducible by anyone on the team. Scenarios come first. You map coverage before you write a single step. Test cases follow. You go deep where risk is high and lean where risk is low. You need both, in that order, every time. In the next video, we are going fully hands-on. I'm going to walk you through writing and running your very first automated test, no prior coding experience required. 10 minutes, start to finish. Subscribe so you catch it the moment it drops. And drop a comment below: what feature would you choose to write test cases for first? QA Career Lab. Because quality is not an accident. It is a practice.